All right, awesome. Well, I hope you all are having a good start of your fall semester during a global pandemic. And thank you for attending this talk today. I started at UCF in fall of 2015, and I was just recently promoted to the rank of associate professor. So, yay! Any claps in virtual space there? Yeah, thanks. I am the director of two labs on campus, the Socio-Technical Interaction Research Lab, or STIR, and the Industry-Focused User Experience Academy, or the IUX Academy. So a little bit about me, and this feels kind of like a dating profile, but let's get to know each other. My research areas are human-computer interaction, user experience, and my research is at the intersection of social computing, how we use technology to connect with one another, and privacy, how we manage our interpersonal boundaries so that we don't have any unintentional harm or consequences from that online interaction. So at that intersection of social computing and privacy, the large majority of my funded research is in the area of adolescent online safety and risks. I recently received the Research Incentive Award, the RIA Award, so thank the college for nominating me for that. In terms of teaching, I've taught human technology interaction at the undergraduate level, CAP 3104, and I developed a new course that's an undergraduate course in web and user experience. It's kind of like an analogous course to senior design, but it's a one semester designed to allow the IT or the information technology students to also have a client-based experience of developing a website for an end customer. Right now, and what I love teaching the most is my graduate level course on HCI research methods, and teaching my students in computer science to love user-centered techniques and understanding why the user is important. Some of my key accomplishments is to date I've earned about 2.96 million in external grant funding, primarily as the PI. I have 2 early career awards. One includes the NSF Career Award, as well as the William T. Grant Scholars Award. I was the first ever computer scientist to be selected for this award, which is usually designated to psychologists and social science scholars whose main goal is to reduce inequality in youth outcomes. So just some other stats there, but overall my main and most exciting accomplishment is my students. Let's see if it'll pull up the website by doing this. As you can see here on my team page, I work with a wide variety of students from different backgrounds, including computer science, but also digital arts and media, psychology, human factors, and other departments across UCF. And I work with a large group of undergraduate students who are also interested in user experience.
We don't see your web page, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. If you could just click on the link later if you want to find out more about my team. All right, so like I said, the majority of my funded research is in the area of adolescent online safety and risks. One of the things that we know about this topic is that it has a broad impact on society because adolescents are early and eager adopters of technology, yet we tend to take a very authoritarian approach to online safety by trying to censor and restrict these online activities rather than taking a more developmentally appropriate to helping teach youth how and empowering them how to protect themselves online. And so what my research does, it takes a user-centered approach, in this case a teen-centered approach, to empowering youth to be more resilient to online risks. So I just have about a few projects that I want to talk about. Of course, the career is entitled Safety by Design, Protecting Adolescents from Online Risks. So the main objectives of this project are first to understand deeply what types of risks teens are encountering online and how they're currently coping with these situations. The major thrust of this grant is developing and establishing a program called Teenovate, which would be an after-school participatory design group comprised of teens who help and work alongside of my students in my lab to design new patterns for online interaction actions that would actually help empower them and keep them safe online. As an example, you can see here in the top corner, this is an app that we created called Circle of Trust. Now, existing parental control apps work very much like, I'll just say, a Trojan horse, where you install the app on your teen's phone, and then the parent is able to restrict activities and closely monitor, or in other words, the teen say stalk, their online activities. And this, again, is a very authoritarian approach to online safety. And so what we did is we conceptualized and built this new mobile app that was built on the Android platform to help teens and parents negotiate this rule-setting process. So here you can see that we have some meta-level data of the number of messages sent and received and some risk flags. So we use some NLP and computer vision algorithms that were off the shelf to identify risks. The novelty of this app is this feature called Circle of Trust. What it does is it provides a level of obfuscation where if a teen requests for a contact to be put in their circle of trust, the parent only gets abstracted information such as a sentiment score of what the content of the text message is, or in the case when an image is flagged or a message is flagged, then they would actually see that content. And so what this does is that for those trusted contacts, teens would have more privacy from their parents and be able to exert some of the autonomy that they're seeking. Whereas it would work like a baseline parental control app if the circle of trust was turned off. So some of the other things that we're doing is developing a website of design patterns for these socio-technical interventions, and then evaluating the efficacy of these different interventions by conducting numerous user studies. Some of the things that we've done on this project so far is we conducted a participatory design study with 20 adolescents and parents regarding how to conduct high-risk research with minors. We've created a risk mitigation plan for dealing with things like child pornography and our responsibility as mandated child abuse reporters. Another grant that I'm working on is using a human-centered approach to improve algorithms for detecting online risks. Right now, the algorithms that are out there for cyberbullying or sexual risk detection are, one, not tailored to the context of adolescents, and it's unclear whether or not the ground truth that we're using to train these algorithms are useful and beneficial to the context of teens. So the first part is filling this critical knowledge gap of understanding what these contexts are and being able to establish a more coherent ground truth that is clinically informed. And then the second phase, of which I'm working with collaborators at Boston University and Georgia Tech, is to develop state-of-the-art risk detection algorithms based on this knowledge. The PFI grant is Partnerships for Innovation, so it's actually a commercialization grant. So the third phase of this project is to commercialize these market-ready technologies as a software as a service API, and also as an open source product. So the study that we're about to launch this month is that we are asking teens to donate their Instagram data for the purposes of research, and we're asking them to annotate some of their own data, their direct private messages, for different types of risks that they've encountered online. By doing this, we'll have a first-hand perspective of the types of risks that teens are encountering, and we don't have to guess about the ground truth. We can instead gain this understanding from the people encountering these situations themselves. We've done other projects in this grant, such as we have a data set from an online mental health peer support platform called Talk Life, where we've done a qualitative analysis to understand teens' online sexual risk experiences. And we recently did a machine learning proof of concept to show the difference between insider and outsider perspectives when it comes to annotating posts on Talk Life for bullying or cyberbullying instances. We note that even though outsiders or like third-party annotators have a higher level of precision when identifying these types of events, there's a higher level of recall when it comes to the insider's perspective. And when we're talking about situations of victimization, that means that it's really important to consider the insider or the victim perspective and not just taking a third-party objective account to these very personalized experiences. Another grant that I have that isn't in the space of adolescence and online safety is for the secure and trustworthy computing. That was my 10-minute alarm. And this one is we're trying to use a model of community oversight to help people manage their digital privacy and security as groups. So leveraging social processes as a way to help people be more private and safe. I'll go ahead and leave it at that. I did want to take a minute to say that the purpose of the Industry-Focused User Experience Academy is to work with small to mid-sized company in conducting UX services and getting my students real-world experience doing usability studies to full-stack development. This program's received the UCF Program Innovation Award and the Marchiolia Award as well. So the opportunities to collaborate, and in the short term, some ways that I can help you are by helping you conduct and design user-centered research, making sure that any kind of experimental design that's being conducted with humans has ecological validity, and being able to bridge between the social and computer sciences. Some of the ways that you could help me and that I would love for you to reach out if you do machine learning, computer vision, NLP, social network analysis, data analysis, and so forth, we would have really great synergies on working on some of this really important research. Also, if you have clients who have problems related to the space of user acceptability and UX, please refer them to the iUX Academy. In the long term, my goal right now is to create a program in human-centered computing at UCF so that students who want to do some of more of the interdisciplinary research in HCI have a home. And more than anything, I would love to be able to collaborate with many of you on the important research you're doing or some joint or overlapping efforts to write grant proposals and do impactful research in the future. These are just some of my students. I'd like to thank them for all of their hard work in making this presentation possible. And one more plug is that I am the chair of the new CECS Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity Task Force to work on issues around racial justice and promoting women and minorities in STEM. We're making a call for faculty, staff, and students, and the deadline is September 8th to apply. So please consider applying if this is a topic that's near and dear to your heart. We would love to have you. Thank you. Any questions?